And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Aurora Overwatch series. We're going to be going into the loser side or lower end of the bracket today. And it's going to be a really fun time. Of course, I'm Manevo, joined by the wonderfully talented OC here as well. So, OC, how are we feeling about tonight's match?
We're feeling good. We're feeling good. First time casting for this term. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna see what these teams have for us today. We have Southern Miss Celestials, and they pretty much their entire roster is from USM, right?
Yeah.
So their entire roster is from USM. While Redbird Ravens, we have some players from Illinois State and Winthrop.
Yeah, a couple of helpers from Winthrop in that roster there, of course, and some people you've probably definitely have heard of before. Myra, for example, Wisteria, respectively, from that Winthrop University, team. But like we said, other people on this roster are, of course, from the beautiful side of Illinois State University. That being, Mild, we have Myra again from Winthrop coming in. We have Deviled Egg, we have Callistic, Wisteria from Winthrop, Noodles, great name by the way, and Axiothene as well. And of course for Southern Miss Celestials, for them, all of them coming in from the oh my god, I keep like dying. From USM, of course, we have Inky Lilith, we do have Clawberry, Nia, Nihani. We have Shoutgum, and we also have Gimme Games. Oh, that's literally just Gimme Games. Okay, I was reading it as I was like, I was talking as I was reading it, and I'm like, wow, Gimme Games is a really, really cute little name. But it should be a really fun series today. It is gonna be first to three, so a best of five scenario for either team here, and it is favored a little bit for the Redbird Ravens to kind of take it over today.
Yeah, Southern Miss Celestials have their work cut out for them. It's not going to be an easy match for them, and I'm curious to see what they try, right? What they pull out, and we also have a very open map pool in this tournament, so you can kind of go anywhere you want, which for the losing team is actually a pretty big advantage. So if you're on the losing side, you get that map pick, you can really take to any comfort map, any map that you like to play. And because the map pool is so big, it's difficult for the opposing team to practice all of them, right? So whatever maps you've practiced the most, whichever maps you're most comfortable with, it's very easy to pick them, and your opponent might not have practiced them as much.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, we're going to start off control, as always, is the beautiful thing about these matches. But we do have kind of like a set mode, but again, you have the selection of every single map in that said mode to pick from. It's not like a true map pool where it's you're so limited in escort maps where you only had to choose from like 3 or 4. They give you the full 8 maps available to you, whatever you need, wherever you can feel comfortable on, whether you want to run the dive, whether you want to run a brawl, whether you want to run a poke, or a little bit of an unholy combination of any of those 3 together. It works out for the losing team if whenever at least they have to choose for their next map type. But people are getting to the lobby right now. And with this new, kind of meta coming in with the Amalgam making reappearance, OC, I want to know kind of your insight on what could be seen between these two teams tonight as we go over to Nepal.
Well, right now, top teams are running a lot of the Malga Reaper, right? That composition has pretty much taken over. And that partially has to do with the Reaper, right? Reaper's gotten a few buffs lately, and also Juno's very strong. There's a bit of synergy between the Juno and the Reaper, right? You have the Orbital. You can use the Death Blossom in there. Cage on top of that just kind of enables that, right? So Malga isn't necessarily the problem causing this meta. It's more of a situation where you have Reaper, Juno, two very, very strong heroes, and they kind of enable these compositions to be played. But also, there are other options, and we see Southern Miss Celestial seems like a Junker Queen comp, potentially a Juicia. We'll see if it's just a speed at a spawn. While Redbird Ravens, they might go for something similar as well.
Oh yeah, the Dungeon Queen being a choice here on Nepal of all plays on Village. I understand completely, especially with Mara on that Symmetra. Once you get stationed on that little area of the, I guess the home base of control here of Nepal, I mean, it's so good for any kind of brawl to really prosper. Now going over to the Echo instead of a hit scan, so it looks like double flex support flex DPS backline for Redbird Ravens, and we're bringing right on top of this high ground here on the right side, and already a shot already initiated from Inky Lilith, but Wi-Fi on the Dragon Queen gets the tank in their favor, the mirror in their favor, and just like that, it looks like Redbird Ribbons kind of takes his fight and runs with it, with the point unlocking just now.
Redbird Ravens ran away with that one, like you said, and no ults on the board, so it's gonna be a fight here where Southern Miss Celestials are playing fast. They have that Lucio Juno. Redbird Ravens are just trying to buy time. They're just trying to kite. You want to kind of buy time for Mara to get value here on the Echo.
The value is there. You see all those
Oh my goodness.
stickies getting not 1, not 2, but 3 people in such a small enclosed corridor space. Mira, again, just taking so much of these advantage stages, just running with it, and now no thanks, and they even get back to the spawn room. No speed, no glide, but able to get back into the room.
Mara, triple sticky there, 73% to the ultimate, to the copy. That's going to matter going into the next one. Southern Miss Celestial still not close to anything. They're going to make a rotation towards point side now. You need to try and give a lady a little bit of an angle here. That's the important thing with the Ashe.
Those are the all walking the same angle, unfortunately, there. And again, since we are kind of giving up this big high ground space on the right side of the objective, gives so much variation for Redbird Ravens. Here comes the duplicate from Myra, however. And then on the Ashe of all things, you're going to get a Bob so quickly with that Echo copy, but it may not even be needed. I mean, they're fighting on the objective itself. Bob has been expended, and it's only Cloberry left all by their lonesome. Not even on the point itself. 65 going towards Redbird Ravens.
Yep, that was the copy there. Only ultimate use from Redbird Ravens. They're gonna be approaching the freeze. Now they also have the Rampage. They have a pretty major ult advantage. If they take this fight fast like they have previously, I think this is gonna be a pretty simple last fight. We're up to 80%. SMC need to contest point now.
They're going to the point, but we have the Rampage ready. We're about to have the Blizzard ready for Redbird Ravens, and in fact, they're going complete around and finding the most squishy targets, that being Elite and No Fangs. Here comes a Blizzard, kind of shutting down this one entryway, so forcing Southern Miss Celestials to be cornered into one area, and it's just Inky Lilith all by themselves. We did recap this somehow right underneath Redbird Ravens' noses, so there is a last fight possibility for Southern Miss Celestials.
They might be able to get back. They have the orbital, but I think it's going to be really difficult. Like, Juicio's fast. We might see Shotgun be able to get back. Here it is, the Juno over the top. Will they be able to find anything? No, they will not. And that'll be first round going to Redbird Ravens. Pretty dominant, and Mara getting a lot of value.
Really good wall coming in from the side of Redbird Ravens. Oof. To shut down the Rampage kind of speed that, you know, Inky Lilith was looking for, because I feel like had Inky Lilith gotten that Rampage off and landed ideally next to the objective, one toe in, you get the overtime wick going. So really, really great wall coming in from Carl Dog. And now we're moving over to this shrine.
Right, and here, I'm interested to see if Redbird stick with the Mei Sim. We'll see. And Southern Miss Celestials, will they run the Juicio again? Or are they going to stick with what they're comfortable with?
Ooh. Couple of last-minute decisions being done by Redbird Ravens in their spawn room, but Southern Miss Celestials is sticking with the same thing, double speed, triple speed boost. You want to, you know, include Dragon Queen Shout here, and with the Ashe and the Mei DPS line, but Redbird Ravens going kind of for a full, ideally a full dive here, save for the Mei, who can sustain pretty much by herself for a good amount of time against the comp of Southern Miss Celestial. So, alright, Knife comes in, but doesn't get the Carnage, gets completely punched out of it, and is not able to find a little bit of that self-healing that ability gives Inky Lilith. So, down they go almost immediately here. Cloberry not able to get the wall up in time to save them either. So, Redbird Ribbons, with a very dominating position here, take the first objective.
Alright, that's first fight, and we could see a bit of a stagger on the No Fangs. Here it is. There's the kill from Wi-Fi. And just an early setup from Mara, playing very, very aggressive. This Doomfist composition, it's, you know, a lot of displacement. They're mainly playing, I think, for Mara, just to frag out here, especially because his backline seems to be very fragile. They struggle to deal with any sort of pressure. So they're kind of taking advantage of that.
Absolutely. And with the Tracer on deck, I mean, you're just doing so much value. But Carl Dog getting a sick headshot onto Shoutgum. Now you're Lucio, you're down at least one of those, you know, ideal speed scenarios to kind of speed out of these bad situations. Pulse on ready for Mara, going around, wrapping around, trying to maybe find LED, but no, just goes straight in for that one clip, and the Pulse Bomb does find Shoutgum in the nick of time, and Inky Lilith is only going to be suffering the same fate.
Poor Shao trying to cut away just to walk into a pulse bomb here. And is Mara going to survive? Looks like Mara will be able to get out. And here's Wi-Fi kind of there to support, has the empowered punch now. Gallistic has the orbital coming up this fight as well. Should be able to build it. Wi-Fi has the punch. Probably going to see an aggressive Doomfist engage, followed by Meteor Strike.
68% already ticking down. Everyone already forcing out really impaired cooldowns like that May Ice from a Cloberry. Really good stuff from Mara. Wi-Fi again having that orbital strike, the meteor strike here, but doesn't even need it. Finds 2 just by herself here, and again, so much value being given to Redbird Ravens as they start pushing Southern Miss Celestials up and around town. 89%. I don't even think they can touch here, OC.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's the punch off the map. Meteor Strike looking for a little bit more. Cloberry coming out of freeze, able to live there though. Looking for another punch. Maybe off the map. Okay. And that'll be our first map. Nepal going to Redbird Ravens.
Absolutely. Very nicely done from Redbird Ravens. Pretty much a 213% in the series on control. Very well done. And yeah, Mara absolutely getting the play of the game with that Echo. Luckily, the triple stickies we got into the 4K. No, this is near the end of the game, in fact, when they had gotten the contest, the flip of the point even for Southern Miss Celestials. But again, when they were just lying, Mara just to kind of frag out, do whatever they do best on that Tracer, on that Echo. You know, you get so much value for the side of the Redbird Ravens.
Yeah, Redbird's definitely playing for that Echo, playing for that Tracer. I think with the Doomfist composition, they realized, hey, there's some weaknesses there. We can kind of just play for displacement and, you know, take advantage of that backline, and they did. I'm interested to see if Southern Miss Celestials try and change anything, right? No changes going into the second round, so not much of a difference there, but maybe they'll try like a Brig Juno or something, right? That's the more popular backline that we've seen most teams run, so I kind of expect them to try it.
Absolutely. I do expect the Juno to kind of be a mainstay in not just one, but both of these teams here. But the flexibility of going to that Brigida, to that Ana, to that Kiriko, to the Lucio as well is really, really underrated. So I think, you know, being on the Brigida, having that extra kind of stability with that shield, with her area of healing, and even the rally for that overhealth is really underrated, especially if Redbird Ravens are going to go for a little bit of the displacement comps you were talking about earlier, the Doomfist that kind of disrupts the flow of things, and that's where Doomfist really excels in as a character. So as we get into, I believe, Hybrid being Escort being Shambali Monastery, that should be a really good area to start things off on. Really long map, you know, could be really hard for any team to kind of get past that first initial choke point. So I'm really excited to see how both teams are going to be able to find their placing, especially on Shambali.
Right, Shambali's an interesting map. I think lately with the compositions we've seen more spawn holds from teams. So we could potentially see a first point spawn hold strategy. And, you know, you will have to see. I think Redbirds also get to pick if they defend or attack first. I wonder what they'll choose. We'll see if they go for either the other, what they prefer. They might just go for a defense, kind of spawn hold, try and mitigate the best they can, buy as much time as they can, because really with those spawn holds, if you get like a minute or even 2 minutes, you get value out of it. It's worth the fight, right? If you get less than a minute, that's when it's not worth it. I do think that Redbird can pull it off, and it's a question of maybe, you know, Southern Miss Celestials could try it as well.
Yeah, for sure, but looks like Southern Miss Celestials gonna be on the attack side of things here, first and foremost. Redbird Ravens opting to go for the defense, like you had mentioned. So if they go for that close spawn hold, whether it's with a Reinhardt or a Matra, even Maga can kind of work here with the right healing behind him to, you know, allow Maga to get so much unnecessary value off of the Cardiac Overdrive. I could absolutely see it happen, but looks like instead Redbird Ravens opting to go for the Sigma so far on that poke with that Reaper and May so far, and Southern Miss Celestial is looking like they're going to be sticking with their comp, sticking with what they're comfortable with as a team with that Dragon Queen double speed backline.
Right, and you got to respect that. They scrim it, they practice it, they're going to run it, and I think that's fine. You know, it could also be a demonstration, maybe a bit of a lack of flexibility. But teams that get very, very good at one composition and can work from that, and they feel most confident with that, sometimes in a losing match, that's the best you can do, and that's what they practice. So we'll see what they can do with this. Redbird, I wonder if they're going to go for the spawn hold here. We'll see. It's hard to tell exactly. Yeah, it looks like they are. That is it.
That is a spawn hole with a Sigma of all things. But looks like they're going right around the left side. The left side of things. For Southern Miss Celestials kind of catching Redbird off guard a tiny bit here. And they've sought out of just Noodles, who's going to live by their lonesome around this high ground left side here. But we're going a little bit too separated. Finds Inky Lilith and Clawberry not with the support backline of Shoutgum and No Fangs, and kind of just gets shut down almost immediately. So again, no stops here, still sticking with the Jungle Queen, but this spawn hole is working very well so far.
Yeah, Redbird, they have that positioning now, and once they start building ultimates, I think that's when it's going to get even harder. Shotgun is gone, and now Inky Lilith, half HP, are going to push into the spawn more. I think Inky Lilith is going to fall next. The wall's there. Can they get back into the spawn? No, they cannot. And now, like, ult-wise, Wi-Fi is going to be close to the Flux. Mara's going to be close to the Blossom. This is a dangerous situation for SMC.
It is. They have to find a way to break out of this spawn hole, whether it's just to get the first pick, whether it's to split up a little bit, go to the left and the right side, pincer Redbird Ravens a little bit here, but the Flux is red, just like you said. Here comes the shield out, and there it is. The Flux, it does find 3. Thankfully, Clawberry has that ice pack in their back pocket, but I can't say the same thing for Inky and Elili. And here's the flank coming in from Myra, and it shuts down Clawberry. Can't even get back to the spawn to get that healing in time for a recontest.
Yeah, for a moment that first fight, SMC looked like they had a foothold. They looked like they could get some damage done. Now that there's ultimates, like, their fast composition just gets run over, right? You have a rally coming up next. How do you beat that?
Well, super low is Inky Lilith, but finds a Rampage at least in the back pocket. Should be able to utilize it and get the health increase, and there it is. Look at that beautiful health bar going all the way to 100%, but no one falters even a little bit. Here comes Myra popping off with that Death Blossom from the Reaper. Really valiant effort from Inky Lilith, but even better defense from Redbird.
SMC, this is their chance. This is their fight. They're going to be close to beat. They have the orbital. They have the freeze. They have the tools they need to break through this. I think an aggressive beat might be necessary. You match the Juno ultimates, and then from there you can maybe... Oh, nope. That's not good.
Well, no beat there. You still have the orbital in the back pocket. However, Myra kind of by their lonesome on the corner. Force a Wraith away. Ice already utilized, and we're peeking out that shield a little too often. Has to pull it back from Wi-Fi, thankfully, and Inky Lilith waiting to restabilize with the team here as they make a full rotation to the back side of the point as if they were the defenders. Blizzard ready for Clawberry. I see the vision. We gotta get that shield down though before anything can happen. And here's the orbital ray coming in, not from Redbird, but from the SMC side of things. Flux, a second one is here. Here's a good wall from Clawberry though. Maybe able to keep this team up a little bit here. But as I say that, Ravens once again finding so much value off of just 1 or 2 ultimates.
Southern Miss Celestials, it was a good try, good attempt, but it just didn't work out in the end, and Redbird didn't have to match the orbital, and having orbital advantages, I mean, that's honestly a fight win on its own. And there's another stagger. I feel like SMC are just in a really rough position. They're not in a good position to use any ultimates. They're going to back off to spawn, but again, they're going to beat. An aggressive beat could be valuable here. Aggressive ults could be valuable here. I want to see aggression from them.
And when you're bringing the Jungle Queen comp, yeah, you have to be the aggressor. You have to kind of run through this Sigma, run through this Mei, go right to the back line, kind of put pressure on Shinobu and Just Noodles. But they're waiting on Shotgun to get that, or that beat you're talking about earlier. Here comes the ring, and now here's a Bob coming through from the side of Elite. Yeah, they fall almost immediately, and unfortunately, we've coupled the Blizzard with the Death Blossom. No beat coming in from Shotgun. We've lost Mara, however. Here's the rally from Shinobu, and when you have Shinobu with that orbital ray, Inky Lilith can only do so much to defend before, you know, the rest of SMC can really come back. Here is, of course, that sound we were talking about earlier, but the power of that orbital ray with that damage boost is a little bit too much for SMC to handle. Redbird Ravens pretty much take it here. Full defense. Inky Lilith barely coming back. We see the mirror going onto the Pharah here. The Rampage is all for not fine Shinobu. The wall off to make sure that no one else in MCC can contest.
Cardog put an end to that ult fight, that last ult fight for SMC. I mean, really, I think the wall there, and then also the Blizzard especially, kind of scared Southern Miss Celestials from using their beat. So they didn't use their beat aggressively. They used it on the recontest there at the very end. And they just couldn't get any purchase from it, right? They couldn't use their ults. The Bob there was decent, but they just weren't able to get enough, right? And that's 0 meters. they cannot allow Redbird Ravens to push it even the tiniest bit.
You can't push it even a centimeter here, absolutely. And that's so unfortunate that some of the missiles just couldn't get even, half a meter. And it would have been, drawable at the very least, right? But Redbird Ravens looking like they're going over to the Reinhardt here to start things off strongly on their own attack phase. Southern Miss Celestials staying with the same JQ comp. I respect it. They're working on it. They're using it. It's worked a couple of times here. But Redbird Ravens having that flexibility to, flex to other compositions, to the brawl, to the poke, to the rush is, really good into a one comp that SMC has been pretty much running for 2 maps now.
Yeah, actually, it's a little interesting because we see Southern Miss Celestials, they're on Kiriko instead of Juno. So a little different. We'll see if that results in any difference here. If they can honestly take fights, that would be pretty good. And let's see if they can get any momentum.
Also, it's underrated is that some teams aren't comfortable running this, doing it a close hold here. So if SMC isn't comfortable with a close hold on the cart here, they're gonna go down and we pack up just enough, and just like that, with 4 forces on that cart, we push it just enough to find a second point on the board for the Redbird Ravens.
Yeah, that's difficult. That close hold is brutal, especially if you're not able to get your ult rotation up, right? I think SMC probably have one of their best fights, that first fight. It looked like they were maybe able to get the brig, maybe able to get a kill or 2 there. And then it fell apart. And then from there, you had Redbirds with the ultimate advantage. And once they had the ultimate advantage, they just rotated their ult until they won every fight, right? And the few fights where I feel like Southern Miss Celestials had a chance, they just weren't able to get their ults off, right? That final fight where you have beat, not able to get it off because of the blizzard, is a very, very difficult game for them.
It is, absolutely. And like I mentioned briefly, sometimes if you're not comfortable going for that close hold and you're forced into a close hold situation by a team who forced you not to even take a single meter off, that's also something that has to be talked about a little bit. SMC, possibly with that Jungle Queen comp, just wasn't comfortable running on that closeness that clearly Red Ravens was more than happy to do. And even if they, if it did fail, they would have shaved off at least a minute and a half on Shambali, which is always so incredible to do on a map that can be really difficult, or when you eventually get around that bend to that upper hill area. But we're going over to a map 3, no breaks needed, going straight into it. It's going to be King's Row to hopefully, for Redbird Ravens, finish it off strong with 3-0.
Yeah, I think Redbird here, they probably have it in the bag. We'll see if Southern Miss Celestials can get any purchase here on this final map, if they can get any fights. Really, just putting up a fight here is a good showing for them. It's a very, very difficult matchup, and we constantly see Redbird set the pace. So to see SMC be able to do that at least for one fight, at least for a few fights, see some good ultimates, see some shining moments, that's what we'd love to see here.
Absolutely. And on King's Row, everyone has played on King's Row multiple times. We've all scrimmed it, we've all played it, we've all chosen it as our pick. It's always been chosen against somebody. So at least here, there's some comfort to be had that maybe a Nepal or a Shambali doesn't really offer to most teams. So I'm very excited to see what we are going to be running here. Looks like Southern Miss Celestials is once again going to be taking the attack phase of this first and foremost. Redbird Ravens opting to go for the defense side just to see, where is our attack gonna end up on. Can we get a possibly another full hold on the objective part? Can we get even no ticks for SMC and make it a little bit easier for Redbird Ravens on their own attack phase? It's a lot going on here. Looking like we're going for Junkrat, the Mauga, Juno Brig backline. Southern Celestials staying with the same thing, but now with the Kiriko in play.
Yeah, we'll see. Continuing to run the Kiriko, a little bit of an adaptation. We didn't really get to see too much of it last time because that defense was quite short, but this time they'll have a bit more time. They are going to have 4 minutes to attack here, do their best. Redbird, they likely pick defense because they want to get this one over with, right? They have a clear advantage. They're able to set the pace. They're very confident. And I think they're just looking to close it out, full hold, and go from there.
That's exactly what their plan is. And with Malga here as well, that cardiac overdrive is so good. This man will not die with the right backline, and Kallistic and Just Noodles are the right backline in question. trap not gonna work for Mira here, who's waiting patiently on this Junkrat around the corner, waiting for someone to peek their poor little head out. It's not gonna be Junkrat Queen today. Likely looking for one of the squishier targets, that being, you know, LD for example, or even Lucio, which narrowly, you know, whiffs, and now Mirror kind of in a bad spot by themselves on this upper area, but unfortunately Cloudberry gets it clobbered with those little pellets from the Junkrat, and now again, it is kind of the opening pick for Redbird Ravens to shut down SMC.
Mara looking for the goob mines in the backline, and there's another kill onto LED, and yeah, that's difficult. Oh, you're not gonna hide there again. No, Mara. No.
Mara's gonna definitely try to. Listen, if it worked once and it barely made them not die, they're gonna do it again for sure. Wi-Fi set up dominantly on this high ground. Some of the SMC kind of waiting, maybe seeing what the plan is to maybe what can we do outside as we approach out of this objective and out of this spawn. I'm sorry, and the knife nearly whiffs on with Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi feeds right back out. Doesn't have charge for now. Goes for knife again on the high ground where our Widowmaker is, where Shinobu is. But again, not gonna be finding much value. Gets Mira gets sought out, forced to concussion mine out of there immediately. LED not paying attention to a little too much. Shinobu finds the head, gets popped off, and Inky Lilith gets trapped for their efforts. Thankfully, you know, no fangs, TP's away. But ooh, we get back to the spawn. We absolutely do. Tire ready for Mara already.
All right, 2 minutes remaining. Still no ultimates available for Southern Miss Celestials. Redbird Ravens have that tire. If you're not careful, that'll just end your chances. No Fang's probably gonna hold on to the Suzu for that.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Impeccable pick on LED again on inside basically the walls of the spawn room, give or take, before the invisibility is there. Here's the charge coming in from Wi-Fi's. Cloudberry walling themselves off in the hotel room of the Autoworks Hotel, and there it is. Wait, they get pick on Wi-Fi, but the tire wasn't sought out. The supports are no longer in the fray, but Cloudberry shuts down Just Noodles. It's just Inky Lilith. LED finds the pick on Shinobu, and it's looking a little bit better for Redbird Ravens if they're able to kind of shut down this Junkrat. LED able to find the picks, the headshots needed on this Juno. So it looks like Mara from the behind is gonna be able to find, you know, the kill here to make sure the defense does not go wasted by Redbird Ravens.
Southern Miss Celestials, they put up a fight there. They got a few kills. That's not bad. And here they're gonna have some more ultimates, right? They're approaching 5. Shotgun is a little bit behind on that beat, but you know, I think as long as they can blizzard this Malga ult, this cage, I think they're gonna be okay. They can win this.
I think so too, especially if we wait on that Brigida rally to come through. It's not quite ready yet from Just Noodles. And Mira's all the way in the front line, but Shinobu in the back line getting the picks needed. Shuts down the bomb coming in, shuts down Shotgun as well. Here's the orbital rip from Callistic just to make sure that that this fight does not go anywhere. 30 seconds left on the clock here. We still have a good amount of ultimates. Just Noodles now coming up on that rally.
Inky Lilith just wasn't able to get the rampage off. That's kind of the main way this Junker Queen composition can deal with Malga. This Malga Juno, you use the rampage, allows you to basically nullify the orbital, right? And here we're gonna see a cage. Several kills here coming through. Southern Miss Celestials went for a very early engage. Again, weren't able to use the rampage, weren't able to use the blizzard. They're just outpaced.
They're absolutely outpaced, and they're about to be shut down here as well. Here's the rampage from Inky Lilith, but I don't even think with all of the good luck in the world they're gonna be able to touch in time. Look, just a little bit too far. It is a full hold from Redbird Ravens, and that pretty much, you know, helps them realize, hey, all we need is a single tick on this objective.
Yeah, I think Southern Miss Celestials, they're a little afraid to use their ultimates. They're a little hesitant, and that has really affected them throughout this series, right? We see a lot of situations where these players are dying with ultimates, and I think it's just Redbirds. They constantly take these fights first. They constantly set the pace, and Southern Miss Celestials just aren't used to that level and that pace of play.
They're not, and that's okay. You know, at some point, every team gets to that point where they can be the shot caller, where they can be the dominating team that goes first. But Redbird Ravens is that team in question today. Wi-Fi looking over to the Roadhog so far in that spawn room. Southern Miss Celestials still sticking with it. The Jungle Queen and the Lucio Kiriko backline with the Ashe and the Mei here. Mei a little better on defense here with those walls that kind of block off that entire entryway of King's Row right behind the bus. So I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best for SMC, but Redbird Ravens, all they do is sneeze on somebody, they roll over and they get the tick off and get the 3-0 they've been looking for all night.
SMC sticking with it till the end. This is likely their last chance to make an effort here. They're obviously playing for a draw, but at this point, it's going to be difficult. Here's the Roadhog, Junkrat, Widowmaker, composition. Still the same Juno Brig backline, though.
Inobu on that high ground, looking for the shots. No one giving it to them, however. Here's a shot coming in from Inky Lilith. Wasn't going to engage, unfortunately, so that's a long cooldown you got to deal with now. Should be trying to find that headshot, and Elite getting a little bit too big for their britches there. Thankfully, Shimbu falls off, goes for the high ground on the hotel, and Mira not going to be able to get sought out by Elite here either. And that is all that she wrote, OC. It is just that. One contest from our Kiriko from No Fangs, our savior of the day, but with everyone coming from that spawn room, the tick is just there. 3-0 for the Redbird Ravens in the lower bracket.
It was a noble attempt. It was a noble attempt from Southern Miss Celestials. They stuck to it until the end, and I think that's respectable, right? I think map 1, they realized they were absolutely outmatched, and they couldn't really keep up, but I think what I really noticed, especially on their King's Row attack here, every time they just grouped up in spawn, they're like, okay, here's our plan, here's what we're going to try and do, and they did their best. They went out there, they did their best. They did whatever they could with their ultimates, even though they were a little slow with it. And that's okay, right? As long as they, you know, kept playing together, didn't fall apart, you know, they're still a solid team.
Absolutely.
And
there is a
I
foundation.
Think, yeah, like that impressed me, where I think a lot of teams would just start staggering at a spawn. Honestly, that's what I usually see by map 3. That didn't happen here. That surprised me.
Yeah, for sure. They have foundation. They have comfort picks. They have a comp that they like to run, and I feel like in the right situation, that comp absolutely works. But tonight, the Ravens were just a little bit better today, absolutely. And they're also going through with the bracket, thankfully enough. So congratulations to the Ravens for a wonderful 3-0 victory. We will be having an interview for you guys in a couple of minutes, so we'll be going to a very quick break to get that set up for you guys. And hello, everybody. We are back, of course, with one of our victors. We have Shinobu on the screen here for an interview. Shinobu, how are we feeling today for your lower finals win here?
We're feeling really good, honestly. I was so happy to have everyone here today. I thought one of our players wouldn't make it, and I was really sad. But they were all there, and it was so great to see.
Oh, good. Okay, so start things off. Now, today's a little bit of an easier day. Today you got a really nice 3-0. You know, you kind of went through the maps relatively easily. Do you expect that to happen for your next match?
I'm not positive. We had a good outlook on this one. We felt like we were going to be able to at least play an equal game, rather either equally or better. We thought we were going to expect that. We felt good about this matchup. The next couple ones we were a little nervous about just going in. We know everyone here is really talented, and we kind of just want to get some strats going to kind of level out the playing field.
All right. So you're going into the next match. I believe that's grand finals, right? Since this is lower finals. You got knocked down into the lower bracket. what are you going to do to prepare for this next match in comparison to your previous loss?
I feel like a lot of us, being college students, we've all been on Thanksgiving break, having a good time, taking some time off to ourselves. I think now that we're all back and getting back into the swing of things, we're really gonna kick it up a notch here. In terms of getting together, practicing, focusing, really doing all that we can to prepare.
Love that. Absolutely. I've been there, done that, college, all that stuff. So I really
Oh
hope you
yeah.
guys have all that time to, re-engage with the game a little bit, especially with, these kind of metas coming in. And I say you guys do a lot of differentiation with your comps as well. And, today was one thing, but will that happen again? Are you guys comfortable with just one comp, or you guys just did a lot because, you felt like you had the freedom to experiment a little bit today?
I think in matches where we're holding the upper hand currently, we get more freedom to experiment. Like on Shambali, when we were defending, we felt pretty good. And one of my DPS, Mara, they suggested holding close, and that's not something we often do, but we were feeling good, and in their words, they thought it would be really funny to try that. So we did. It's not a comp we normally run, but we were all comfortable with it, so we were like, why not?
Nice. Yeah. And that close hold too. I mean, we were talking about it. I kind of saw that one coming, right? And I think my main question is, do you prefer Junker Queen or Malga? What do you like more?
I am not a tank player. If you asked me as a player, I would pick Queen every time. Not a Mauga player. Could never be. But to play in a comp, I really prefer Queen. I like the rush. I like going fast. I like just running in, picking a target, and running them down. I guess you could do the same with Mauga, but just Queen feels so much nicer and cleaner.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
just in general to play with as a support player.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. For your final question, of course, so you can, get out of here, have a nice, Sunday before your classes tomorrow. Who do you want to give a shout out to on the stream?
Ooh, can I shout out anyone?
Yes, anybody.
Oh my goodness. I will totally shout out my roommates who have to currently deal with me screaming all the time. Um, because they have no idea what's going on when I'm just over here screaming queen, 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 queen. I think they might think I'm a little insane, but they put up with me.
I love that. Wow. Shout out to your roommates, of course. And shout out to your team as well. Nice 3-0 victory for the
Yes.
night. Take it with you into your grand finals match, which I know is going to be a nail biter on Aurora Overwatch. So I'm gonna let you go, celebrate
Well,
today, have some nice Thanksgiving leftovers, and have a wonderful, wonderful night, Shinobu.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you
I
for
hope you
joining
do the
us.
same. Bye.
Oh,
Thank you so
adorable.
much.
Love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you.
Bye bye. um,
Bye.
with Overwatch, that is the end of the stream for tonight. But there's more, of course. That aforementioned grand finals we've been hinting at is absolutely going to be streamed today, likely by myself and OC, covering that in the later of the week. So, any last thoughts, OC, before we bow out of the night?
I think just again, I really have to respect the performance from Southern Miss Celestials tonight because they never gave up. That's it. I think you can take a lesson from this. When you're facing a team which is just kind of objectively better and objectively stronger, objectively more experienced, it's very easy to give up. It's very easy to get tilted as well for a team to kind of just fall apart. And it didn't feel like we saw that tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And big kudos, of course, to SMCs for kind of just duking out, going all the way. And even, I saw in the chat a little bit some happiness, it's a little bit of, you're a really good team, GG's, hope good luck in the finals, like everything like that. So love to see that from both sides here. But again, congratulations to our Redbird Ravens for taking it 3-0, going into the grand finals spot from the lower bracket. And hopefully they have a banger series later in the week. But shout out to production, shout out to my observers, shout out to World Overwatch for having everything settled for today, having everything on stream for everyone. Shout out to everyone in Twitch chat as well. But that is all we have for you guys tonight. So, see you guys later in the week for that grand finals match.
Have a good night.